Look, I'm really excited to see what Jayden Daniels can do in Washington. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he goes. They don't have the best pass catchers, so I'm hoping they're going to get a little bit more of a structure around him. It'll be really interesting to see if they get a pass catcher with one of their second-round picks to see if they can give him a little bit of support. But I feel really sorry for Drake Maye because it's going to be a tough couple of years. Thankfully, he needs development anyway, so he probably won't be doing anything particularly productive for the next season or two.
Yeah, I could tell you this. The one thing that comes to my mind right off the bat is that, Cliff Kingsbury 2019 with Kyler Murray. Like, they got Kyler in there. Kyler was a fantasy asset right away. He knows to utilize the player's legs. I like that. Even though Cliff Kingsbury, whatever, we're not going to sit here and pretend like he's the smartest offensive mind in football or anything, but at least from a fantasy standpoint, I know that he's not going to be stupid and try to make this kid to some pocket quarterback. He's going to let him use his legs. So I think even year one, Jayden Daniels could be like an RG3 type where he's a fantasy asset right away, but the passing yards might not be there. It might be like 3,000 passing yards, something like that. But, so of the three, like Caleb, obviously the Bears, I think we're overlooking a little bit because it was so obvious that no one cares when it happened. But like, he's got Keenan Allen, he's got DJ Moore, he's got Cole Kmet, he's got DeAndre Swift. They got some young tackles. They got some young offensive line. Like, it's something, right? I know Shane Waldron I don't get all excited at night. I don't wake up in the middle like to Shane Waldron highlights or anything. But, at least there was some level of competency with the Seattle offense with DK Metcalf, Walker, Lockett, even Geno the last 2 years did play pretty well. So, like, there's an infrastructure there with Shane Waldron and company. So I think Caleb, like, for what it's worth, could he be a CJ Stroud type rookie impact player in the passing game? What's your thoughts about that, Ben?
I really do think he can make a big impact immediately. They've really put a good structure in place around him, and I think that that's something that's really useful for fantasy and in general. So I'm excited to see what he can do, but I think we've also got to be really wary of any rookie quarterback in general. Anytime you've got a rookie coming in, even if you've got the best players in front of them, a lot of the time they're going to struggle. So CJ Stroud's more of like an exception rather than the rule. I'm also really interested to find out that the Cardinals have not traded down. So that's one of the things that we thought might happen that has not occurred.
Their pick is in, so it's coming in a second.
Ben's ahead of me, so I'm already excited to see Ben's reaction before I get to see what's going on. I told Ben to just hold it together for 10 seconds. Give me a 10 Mississippis. Do you know what the pick is right now?
I do know what the pick is.
Oh, you son of a thief, man. TJ, do you know yet?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, my God. How far behind am I? I'm streaming on Roku ESPN. How am I this far behind? This is ridiculous. This is blasphemy.
Amazing. All I'm saying is my mock's 4 from 4. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wow. So with Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, this is like a no-brainer. Like, why? Like, as soon as Marquise Hollywood-Brown left, and I mean, I still think that if you look at the offense as a whole, like, I think Michael Wilson is still valuable. I mean, Kyler Murray could support 2 receivers. We saw it with Christian Kirk and Hopkins a couple of years ago. So I'm not – and, like, even the offense, the coordinator situation there is kind of – I think they played pretty well. Like, I actually would be excited for year 2 Kyler in this offense. And now with Marvin Harrison and, of course, Trey McBride, I mean, Kyler Murray's probably too low on all our rankings. What's your thoughts, TJ?
I mean, he definitely got the best receiver in the draft. That's for sure. He's got an alpha now. Might help Trey McBride a little more now. Not the attention won't all be on him.
Like, you think what they tried to do there was with the Odell Beckham Jarvis Landry combo, and they had David Njoku, and so like they were trying to do something with the 2 receivers. And then Petzing comes from the Vikings, like Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs prior to that. So like, I do think his offense could be conducive for 2 receivers. But the question is, like, is Kyler going to – because he looked good in the second half. So my thought process is, like, why can't Kyler be the number 1 quarterback in fantasy? Now he's got 3 valuable weapons. He can run. Ben, like, what are your thoughts here? Like, does this vault Kyler Murray up the rankings for you?
I think for this season it does. I think he has a lot of upside. I think it's a lot more concerning still for Dynasty because we really don't know how long he's going to be able to survive in the league. There's a lot of concerns about his size. There's a lot of concerns about whether he actually is going to be able to play at a high enough level they're satisfied in. I think he probably can. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he's around for another 10 years. But I'm still nervous about him in Dynasty. But this is still a massive boost for him. Of the things that could have happened, getting Harrison here is the number one option. So from Kyler's perspective and for the Cardinals in general, this is a fantastic pick for his value, even though it's still not as high as it possibly could be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I think, like, Michael Wilson. I mean, like, Trey McBride, there's not a lot of times where a tight end's going to be the number one on your team, right? And, like, outside of, like, the Travis Kelce, Gronks of the world, you're always – so I do think there is a world where Kyler Murray supports a tight end one and maybe a top, 5 to 10 receiver for fantasy football down the line. I don't think Marvin Harrison will do that year one, but, like, Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, like, TJ, like, I mean, obviously through the first 4 picks, like, it's been kind of chalk. But, like, is there someone we're not thinking about that got the biggest boost outside of the rookies, maybe the quarterbacks?
Well, let me ask you this. Marvin Harrison, this is probably outside of Herbert in the top 8 picks, is probably the most ideal landing spot. How high would you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. right now?
High. I mean, like, is Jamar Chase? Is he Jamar Chase rookie? Like,
I think he's more talented.
And then those guys were awesome. I mean,
yeah,
you're gonna get the rookie discount. He's not going to be drafted probably in the first 3 to 5 rounds. Most of these guys, well, maybe 5th round in redraft.
I don't think he's good. I think it might be a 3rd or 4th round. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'll go earlier than he should go. Like,
yeah.
I think if he were drafted at his correct value, then that's going to be fine. And I think that is around that 5th round area. But people are going to get really excited. They're going to go, he's the only real like wide receiver in this offense. They're going to think they're going to have to throw the ball so much because their defense sucks. So I can imagine people reaching for him. I don't think I'm going to get much Marvin Harrison this year, unfortunately.
You got to keep up with the Rams, the 49ers, the Seahawks. So,
yeah, I guess like my thought process is like, what was Kyler Murray's best season passing? You think like 21? I'm trying to think of like. Not really. I mean, I gotta look at his stats because I'm curious to see like.
He also hasn't had someone on this level of Marvin Harrison Jr. either.
I mean, he had DeAndre Hopkins, so D-Hop's
You're right. Yeah,
so
I forgot about that.
I'm not gonna throw shade on that, but so 2020 was his best passing season. That season, D-Hop was wide receiver 4 in fantasy. 18.2 PPR points per game. Okay. That's elite numbers there. So it's like, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. This kid is a top 5 pick. He's got a quarterback that, I mean, listen, Kyler's talented. I think historically, though, it's hard to like Drew Petzing last season, I think did a really good job with the offense and making the best of whatever Josh Dobbs was and all the craziness they were going through. But like, I'll be curious to see how it goes. Like there should be a natural progression in year 2. That's the biggest leap in fantasy. Like year 2 of a system, when you got the continuity, you got the quarterback knows the playbook now inside and out. They're not like, especially with Kyler, he didn't get any off season. So I don't know. I think this will be a fun situation. I think Kyler to me is like, he could be in his range of outcomes as QB1 overall.
Yeah, I could see that.